Hello, everyone. Raymond Mhor, Kilted Prepper. How's everybody doing? No, this is not Coffee with Ray. Saturday Night Live. So, give everybody a couple moments to get in here and let me know if you are hearing me okay. So, got one person in here. Do me a favor. Can you hear me? Two people in here. Can you hear me? Do me, let me know that you can hear me okay and everything. And in the past, I've had issues with my sound. And so I just want to make sure that y'all are hearing me good and everything. But tonight, I thought what we would do is kind of kick our feet up and hang out and let me answer a bunch of your questions. And I know that thank you, Karen. Thank you, Angry Taco. Super awesome. But I know that a lot of you have questions. And so this is a free for all tonight. And basically ask me any question that you may have in regards to prepping or what's going on in the world or my opinion of this, that, or the other, as if my opinion counts. But yeah, thought it'd be very easy evening this evening, and then just talk about what's all going on in the world. Homesteady here. RC answer, aloha, slow carb here. Angry Taco still working on stuff, so I'll have limited typing, but I'm listening. Okay, Angry Taco, cool on you. I'm glad you're tuning in. That makes it all possible. But to kind of get things rolling, and again, tonight is Q&A. So if you guys are new here, do me a favor, like, subscribe, share, and ring that little bell to get notified. But I thought it would be really cool to kind of get things moving here and talk about some multi-tools. And I've got a couple that I love, and I just keep gravitating towards these. I've tried other multi-tools and everything, but it seems that I just keep coming back to these two. And the great thing about Amazon is that if you don't like it, you can send it back. And so I've been trying some different multi-tools these past couple months and everything. I just keep going back to the two multi-tools that I just love, thinking that I can improve on them, and the two multi-tools. But first one is this. This is the Leatherman Scale Tool CX. And they make a carbon version, which I don't know if they do it anymore. It allows a couple more, fractions of an ounce off and everything. But this has got to be the greatest multi-tool in the world. I love it. And, the thing I love about it is it really has everything that you need. Not everything you want, but everything you need. And so you've got the pliers, you got the bolt thing and the wire cutters and everything. You have a screwdriver, you have a knife here, which I can't show because I'll get cut off and everything, but even a screwdriver and a Phillips head. And what's cool, you got this little button right here that you push and you're able to pull the little driver out and then slip it back in. And then right here, let me see if I can find it here. Right here is another, I don't know if you can see that, it pops up. That is a flathead screwdriver that you can switch out and everything. But I love this. And this also acts as a belt clip and bottle opener. Very important. But I really, this has got to be the greatest multi-tool. Like I said, I used to have one of the carbon versions. And like I said, it was just a fraction of a hair lighter. But this is just the common old everyday, Scale Tool CX. And I carry this thing a lot of places, and I just hook it to the belt loop, or I'll throw it in my backpack, which I have a lanyard that I keep this thing on, because there's been times it gets lost in your backpack. So I found that putting this on a lanyard really helps. So as I'm jibber jabbering, let me know if you got any questions or comments or anything. Please put them down here. Again, this is a laid back evening, And I'm showing you guys this just to get the ball rolling. So I need you to help me get the ball rolling and ask me some questions so that we can fill up the time frame here. And I'm just not sitting here twiddling my thumbs, and you're not just sitting here staring at my ugly mug. So, hey, Dave, how you doing, bud? But great tool. I love this, the Leatherman. Now, the negative is it is on the pricey side. I want to say it's somewhere about $65, $75, but it's totally worth it. This is the second one I've owned. I bought the carbon version one when it very first came out, and they introduced the CX, and I love it. Has a belt clip, so you can clip it to your belt if you don't want to hang it on your belt. But it has really all the things that you just need, and and this is really just my go-to multi-tool, and I take it everywhere. Whenever I'm going on trips, anytime I'm away from the home for a decent amount of time, or on just whatever. I always, if I'm going into the woods or doing some sort of something like that, I always have this puppy with me, and it's really great. And so, man, there, like I said, let's see if I can show it to it. There's a knife right there, and but great tool, and super compact, super thin, very light, and totally, totally good. What was the name of the wheat grinder you recommended? I have some flour that is questionable, and we'll be doing a whole wheat berry moving forward. Electronic survival. Thank you for asking a great question. And one of these days, I was really thinking about doing a live in my kitchen and just kind of showing you all the tools that we got and that I use a lot. But I use the Nutrimill, and it's the Nutrimill Stone Mill, and it runs somewhere about $349, and I love it. And I love it for multiple reasons. One, it's quiet. Now, that's that's a relative term, but if you've ever used a grain mill, a lot of them are what's called impact grain mills. There's impact and stone grind. And so with the impact, what it does is it spins the wheat so fast that it's just banging into each other and exploding. And it just keeps doing that over and over, and the berries explode, and that's what creates your flour. Now, the negative with those is they are less expensive, but they are freaking loud. And I mean, literally, it sounds like a jet engine in your kitchen. So you need ear protection for sure. But I love the Nutrimill, and it's the Nutrimill Harvest Stone Grain Mill, and I love it to pieces. But it's a heck of a lot quieter. Now, it does make noise and everything. It is loud, but it isn't a frickin' 747 going off in your kitchen. Another thing I love about it, you can dial in what grind mixture you want. And so you can do cereal, you can do a rough grind, a fine grind, or even an extra fine grind. Where again, with a lot of these impact grinders, you can't do that. They only have like one or two settings, grind and fine grind or whatever. But you really can't do that. And I like it that also the in the impact grinders, they tend to be hot. And so because they're just making this wheat spin like crazy in the air, and they're banging with each other and everything, it causes a lot of heat. Heat, basically gets rid of the nutrition and everything. Where the stone grind, it's a slow grind. Yeah, now it is grinding rather quick, but when you stick your hand under the feeder and you're feeling the flour, because that's what I do, you feel the flour, feel the consistency and the grind and everything. You can adjust on the fly too, which is another nice feature. But it isn't that hot. Whereas when I had one of my impact grinders, I mean, it was the flour was noticeably hot. And that will, kind of break down that nutrient value that you're looking for in grinding your own. And so another thing, if you have a solar mill or solar generator, it'll run off a solar generator. And I've ground wheat and everything, running it to tests and stuff. It'll grind up 4 cups of wheat or wheat berries, no problem. And I would do it at 100% and then see how much of the electricity or how much charge I had left. And what's left of my solar generator is like 98 and 97%. And it takes probably about 10 minutes for it to grind into an extra fine wheat. And I did extra fine because I wanted to see how much would draw off the solar generator. But what I'll do is for your electronic survival is put a link down there. Please consider buying. If you're going to get that, get it from me so that you can help support this show, get cool stuff, new microphones and things like that. But the harvest mill, I mean the Nutrimill Harvest is one of the best, and it's pretty looking. Normally Cynthia wants me to put all the appliances away and all that other stuff, but that's the one appliance that we have sitting out on our cabinet because it's just nice, pretty looking bamboo and everything, and it's just something nice to look at. And so I love that grain mill, and I did a boatload of research when I was looking into grain mills, and I just kept coming back to the Nutrimill Harvest. And so I really highly recommend it. It's something, like I said, it's an investment, but it's an investment that's already paid off. One of the things that you can do is if you got chickens and everything, you need to grind a lot of corn. You can really loosen it up and get a good cracked corn thing. If you're someone who likes to have cereal or make a cereal, you can mix some barley, some wheat, some oats, and everything together. Throw it in there, and it'll make a cereal. I mean, there's just all kinds of things that you can do with this, but you cannot put any oily substances in there. You can't use coffee beans. You can't do peanuts. You can't do some of these oily, grains and everything because it'll, clog up the stones. But as long as you use normal old everyday grains, you're good to go. And there's a whole boatload of recipes that comes with the Nutrimill. So I really highly recommend it. It's a great mill. And like I said, I just did boatloads of research, and I just kept coming back to the Nutrimill Harvest. So really good thing. Like I said, I'll put a link to that down at the bottom. So after the show, but what other questions might you guys have? Again, please ask me some questions, anything, everything. I know that I threw a lot at you guys these past couple of weeks in regards to mental preparedness, and then also basically starting a, alternative income and things, because things are going to get hard, folks. And like I said, if you caught my show earlier this morning, I talked about, the Great Depression and interviewing a guy at church. He's 97 years old, lived through the Great Depression, remembers it well, and really learned a lot of stuff from him. And then my mom is also a Depression era child. And so I have these two people to pull from in regards to what happened during the Great Depression. How was it really, and everything. Everybody watches, the Grapes of Wrath and think that's what the Great Depression is. And for many people, it truly was. But a lot of people did also sail through the Great Depression and everything. So, but what questions do you have? And I'll answer anything and everything that I can answer you. But in the meantime, the second multi-tool that I go to is, and I forget the nomenclature of this, but this is my Gerber. And I'm not sure if they make this one anymore. I like it because it's spring loaded. That's a big feature, where the scale tool is not spring loaded. And so you kind of have to, operate it and, use your fingers to operate it, where the Gerber is spring loaded, and it comes with a boatload of tools. You got knives and screwdrivers and a little saw and a little knife and, can openers and bottle openers and things like that. So this is a great multi-tool that I just love. And then the really cool thing, I'm going to see if you can see this. Anytime you have one of the tools open, you're able to lock this forward, and it will lock the tool open. So if you're using the knife, the screwdriver, whatever, it'll lock it. And then that way, as you're doing it and everything, or, whatever, it's not going to close up on your finger. And so that was a really nice safety feature that I liked about the Gerber. Now, the negative about this thing, I want to say that this is a good 8-9 ounces, if not more. And so it's pretty heavy. And, you would probably definitely need some sort of pocket, belt pocket, carrier, or throw it in your bug out bag or something like that, because it does have some weight to it. And, but it has a lot of tools. And I have to admit, there's a lot of tools on here that I don't use. And so, that's why I like the scale tool, because the scale tool is a minimalist multi-tool. And this really I do use a lot. Where the Gerber, I have used it in situations, but I can't say it's my super go-to. Now, one of the things that I do like about the Gerber versus the Leatherman, the scale tool, these needle nose pliers are really fine. See how, it's a pretty fine, where look at that. The scale tool ones are kind of a little bit thicker. So you have a sharper point on the Gerbers versus the scale tool. And so, they both have their functions and everything. But the negative thing, like I said, I keep this one in my get home bag. This is the get home bag special. I keep it in there all the time because it's a really great tool. Anytime I go anywhere or do anything like that, I usually take this with me and everything. In fact, I'll take them both, but this is the one that basically lives in my get home bag. I don't have a bug out bag because I'm not a big person on bugging out, but I'm more on bugging in. But I am someone who's about getting home. And so always carried a Gerber while I was active duty. Yeah, they're just great. I found that you get better performance out of this versus the Leatherman, because I did order a Leatherman, and that's why I love Amazon, is because, okay, let's break down and kind of get the equivalent of the Leatherman, and I just didn't like it. The Gerber it's just so much better. And again, I just love this spring loaded option here. But yeah, the Leatherman was just not the greatest, and I forget the nomenclature of the Leatherman that I was looking at, but basically kind of along the same thing. It was a little longer, not as much, but a little bit longer. I like how this feels in my hand too. And again, I just love that it's spring loaded. I don't have to muck around or anything like that, but it's just a very good multi-tool. So if you guys are looking for multi-tools and everything, then that's what I would highly recommend, is looking at either the Gerber. And what I can do is I can actually look this up and give you the proper name for it so you get the right one, as well as the Leatherman Scale Tool CX. And again, this is the minimalist of multi-tools. Has everything that you literally need, not everything you want. Because I even think this has even a leather punch. And so, but both really good multi-tools and things and stuff. So what questions do you guys have? Give me some questions. Come on, give me questions. Give me questions. We're hanging out, having it easy tonight. I was really racking my brain on what I wanted to talk about. And I was really kind of like, man, I've been just hammering y'all with a lot of facts and information and everything. And I thought, hey, let's just kind of give you guys a break and ask a lot of questions about maybe what a lot of the stuff that I covered and things. I really talked a lot about mental preparedness these past week. Talked about, getting a cash flow stream or alternative cash flow going and everything. And so I know that a lot of you had some questions and everything. Any of you guys doing the Core 4? Any of you guys trying that thing out? Let me know. Yeah, I'm having a little glass of port here. So taking it easy this evening. But what else can I talk to you about here? What else do I got at my desk that I can maybe talk about, as people may want to know some questions? Ask me some questions, folks. Come on. Ask me some questions. Oh, anybody have dogs? Anybody have dogs? And one of the things that we're always taking our dogs with us and things, or going grocery shopping and trying to carry a bazillion bags. Us guys are notorious for carrying every bag in the car and not going yeah. But this is a great. I love these. This is a giant carabiner, and this has got multiple purposes. As I banged really loud in the microphone, but I bought this. I bought this for my dogs, but originally what it is this is for moms and being able to carry bags into the car. You hook your grocery bags onto this, and it's got a nice padded handle, and you're able to carry all your grocery bags. But I liked it because I'm able to hook my dogs in. I have an anchor point in my car, which I'm able to loop this into, and then I loop my dogs. Leashes and everything on this. And so if we're ever into an accident or anywhere where I have to stop fast or anything like that, my dogs are not flying through the front window. Something like this. You could buy two of these, I want to say for something like $11. And again, I'll find this on Amazon, see where I got it. But I love this thing. And it's just great if you want to walk your dogs too. You can put multiple leashes on this and carry your dogs and everything. But this is actually in the baby department on Amazon because mommies use this to carry a lot of bags or carry just a lot of baby junk or whatever it is. But it's got a nice padded handle and you're able to carry a lot of stuff. And so there's that. So what questions do you have? Come on, folks. Let's get some audience participation here. Give me some questions. I don't care. Give me even dumb questions. I don't care what it is. Give me some questions so that I can do some Q&A with y'all. What else can I show you? Here's another, all this junk at my desk here. Man, you should see my desk and you should see my drawers. This drawer, hear that? That's all knives and maybe a few pins. And so, in fact, there's a good thing to talk about too. Another good thing that I'm just, I guess this is show and tell on Ray's desk tonight. So besides answering questions, so give me some questions so I don't have to, keep digging through my desk and do a show and tell and everything. This is great. And this is my second one that I've owned. But I have had one of these forever. I love it. It's by a company named Uzi, and it's the Uzi Tactical Pin. And I love this thing. It's inexpensive. I want to say it's about 13, 15 bucks. Aircraft aluminum. It's got some good heft in your hand, some good thickness. Now, what I do is I pull the cartridge out and I put a medium, a 0.7 or something like that. You can pull the cartridge out and switch cartridges. It comes with a fine. I hate fine ink. I like the thicker ones, so I always put a thick cartridge in it. But this is a great little tool, great little EDC item, and good for kind of home, self-defense and stuff. So on the pointed end, and I always keep this open. Some people will unscrew it so that the pin goes back in. I don't do that. I keep it out. So it's a nice sharp pointy point, but good stabbing. You got the point here, the window breaker point, which I've never really tried on a window or anything like that. I don't want to test it, but on the temple, yeah, do a lot of damage. So, yeah. So good stuff. Like I said, it's got a good heft to it. It's about just under the size of a roll of dimes. And so, if you guys are familiar with a roll of dimes, then, it's a good fist weapon. But, you can choke up on it, get some more heft to it. But I find it really fitting into my hand really well. It's got a great clip on it. But, it's just great. I love it. I've carried one now probably for the past 20 years. But again, it's made by a company called Uzi. You can find them on Amazon, easy peasy. And like I said, the last time I checked, they were about $13 to $15 and a very, very good pin. So if you're looking for a tactical pin, this is the one to get. And but try that. Now, I haven't tried going through an airport with this yet, but it'd be interesting to try and see if this would actually fly or not. But a good tactical pin. Got one of those on my car key chains. So I'm back. Dehydrate beef for beef jerky. Anything other than what you have in your book as advice. Um, Dehydrating beef for beef jerky. Anything other than what you have in your book. So what are some other things maybe that I've done, or recipes that I've done? Um, Here's something to try, is because I've been thinking about trying this myself. I have a meat grinder. And so get like a rump roast, something with very low fat content, and cube it up, grind it up, and then mix your spices and everything like that. And then kind of lay it out and cut them out so that you have nice long strips of ground up meat beef jerky. So give that one a try and see how that works. And but that was something I've been kind of pondering on, and because we have some beef that I need to kind of clean up, and get, there's still a lot of good beef parts on it, and it's like, what am I gonna do with all these chunks of beef? I can make a stew or something like that, but why can't I grind it up in my meat grinder, get a really good fine grind going, and then kind of mix it up, mix the spices, make it really good, and then make some beef jerky out of it. And or what you could do is just kind of roll it up and make it look like dog poop, you know what I mean, and then flatten it out on the trays. There's a lot of things that you can do like that, but give that a try, see what that, and you can do any sort of seasoning. I find in a situation like that, some of your pre-made seasonings like taco seasoning, or I saw this chili heat seasoning, or some of these other rubs, or something, mixing it with that, so you really get that meat seasoned up really nicely. And let's say, now the negative is beef jerky like that is not really meant for the very long term. Whereas if you just do standard beef jerky, your standard beef jerky can hang probably a good 10-15 years. Whereas something like that that's ground up and everything, it's already broken down, and just over time, natural, will just cause it to break down even easier. So that would be more of a short-term fix. So from 3 to 5 years on beef jerky, if you're going to grind your own and make the bars or the sheets or something like that, versus actual hardcore beef jerky, and stick it like that. But what's the weirdest thing you have ever dehydrated? Hey, Cynthia, how you doing? What's the weirdest thing I have ever dehydrated? Um, hmm. Weirdest thing I would have to say, and it's actually rather good, is sauerkraut. And a lot of people, every time I go on speaking, I always dehydrate some I dehydrate some samples and everything, so I have some samples to hand out. If you come to my classes, I will feed you. So, but sauerkraut was a biggie, and it was just one of those fluke tests that I was trying out, and heard about it and everything. Is like, nah, this can't be any good. And oh my goodness, is it ever good? And you can do this with any sauerkraut. What you want to do is get the sauerkraut, put it in a strainer, really press it out, and even pick it up and squeeze it out so it gets all that juice and everything. The more you can do to get the liquid out faster, the better. But squeeze out all that juice and everything, put it on your dehydrating trays, and then it usually takes about 24 hours because you're going to have clumps, and those clumps are going to retain moisture. But when you are done, oh my goodness, you're going to have something that is rocking. I mean, and it's funny, whenever I go to these events, and I always tell folks, okay, I'm going to hand you out a sample. I need you guys to be quiet. I don't want you just shouting out what it is, but I want you to guess what it is. And so when we're all done, I'm going to ask you, okay, what do you think it is? And I've only had like 2 people out of all the events that I've been at guess the sauerkraut, but people just can't place it. And it's funny is that I've gotten a number of people who's like, oh my God, I hate sauerkraut, but they're like, this stuff rocks. And so, dehydrated sauerkraut is great on salads. It's great on baked potatoes. It's great on steak. Um, I mean, it's basically you just put it in anytime you want that zing and that pop, and you just want that unusual flavor and everything. Consider using dehydrated sauerkraut. And like I said, I've got both the crunchy, and then I've also ground it up into a powder so that I can actually sprinkle it and put it on my meats or potatoes or anything. It's really good on French fries, really good on popcorn, really good on tater tots if you got kids. Um, but it just adds this zing to your meal or something that you're having at the moment, and it's really insane. So um Angry Taco says it's surprisingly good. Had no idea that it was what it was. Yeah, Angry Taco was in one of my classes, and yeah, didn't know what it was sauerkraut wise. What about dehydrating dog food? Good question, Pat. Hey, how you doing, by the way? um I have not really tried actually dehydrating dog food in and of itself. Now, if you're talking canned dog food, there is some fat content there, so it's not really good. But in my book, I do give you some recipes on making your own dog treats, kind of like milk bones, as well as making your own vegan style dog treats as well. And the vegan style, and now you're going to have some kombucha or be making your own kombucha, because as the kombucha grows and everything, you get what's called a SCOBY. It's kind of like this thick pancake looking thing that floats on top, and that's what creates your kombucha. But a lot of people say, well, what can I do with my SCOBY? What can I do with my SCOBY? You can make a vegan style beef jerky, but you can also make some dog treats. And again, I have the recipes in my book for the vegan style beef jerky, and you just kind of leave out the salt for the dog treats. So, vegans, yeah, they're missing out big time. But hey, Thomas, how you doing, bud? But you can make doggy treats, and there's a lot of recipes out there. I think I've got one or two in my cookbook on actually making doggy treats and everything. And it's just you're using a lot of kind of like cereal products, ground wheat or ground barley or some of the ground rice. Rice is a really good one. And then you can mix it with other stuff and create the binders and make your homemade little doggy bones and doggy treats. To be honest, I find that it is kind of labor intensive. It's nice to know how to do, but it's just easier to go down to buy a big box of milk bones. And the reason I say that is that we've got 4 dogs. So if I'm making, my own homemade doggy treats, I'm going to have to make like a boatload of them because we got 4 dogs. And Thomas says, which book? I wrote a book called, on dehydrating. It's a recipe book. And not only, I give you a lot of tips and tricks and talk about some of the tools and everything like that. And again, what I'll do is I'll put it in the description below and everything. But it is called, because I put a big long title to this book, and it is called A Prepper's Hints, Tips, and Bizarre Recipes for Your Dehydrator, Using Your Dehydrator for the Ultimate Purpose. Big long title. And so, in fact, here, let's see if I can copy and paste this into the discussions or not. Boom. Oh, yeah, there it is right there. So I copied and pasted that with the link there for you. Sorry, late, but how's it going, Ray? I'm doing really good, Christopher. Thank you so much for asking. I appreciate it greatly. Is there a way to take freezer beef to make jerky? I have a variety of roasts, steaks, and stuff from half a cow. Yeah, you can. Totally, man. What you do is just slice it up like you would normally do with regular beef jerky. I mean, freezer beef and fresh beef, anything in the freezer is basically fresh frozen. So you can do a lot with that and everything, and just try out a lot of the recipes. We're kind of in the same predicament, and so I'm actually making bone broth right now for Cynthia, and so that's helping helping with her. And then I also asked for a lot of the offal. offal being the liver, the heart, the kidneys, things like that. Because I do kind of enjoy those parts of the cow. So, but yeah, using your freezer meat's totally fine, bro. And give it a try. Now, again, what you're gonna need to do is trim the fat out of it, so that if you've got some really fatty meat, or our meat that we have is from an organic farm, and it wasn't, the fat content was not very high. And so a lot of the meat that we got will make some great beef jerky. So probably in about a year and a half and everything, whatever is kind of left over, I'll turn into beef jerky. But right now, it's still going strong, and we got a lot of meat and everything like that. Where did you get such a great title? Where did I get such a great title of that book? I got that title from my lovely wife, Cynthia. So thanks for the prompting, my dear. But yeah. Get my book, try it out. In fact, get all my books. I have a book on weaponized, talks about home security, talks about personal security, office security. It's something you need to be thinking about these days. I do touch a little bit on children and schools and stuff, but primarily I focus big time on home security and what you can do and things like that. And they're tried and true methods. When I was living down in Central America, I never had any break-ins. I never had anybody even come close to my house or anything like that. And so, but get the book Weaponized, and then also my other book is Survive the Coming Storm, basically preparing for an economic collapse. And in that book, I talk a lot about the strategies and everything that the common man can use to basically protect their wealth. And versus, I'm really concerned about hyperinflation and seeing our dollar basically turn into smoke and just basically lose its buying power. And so what you want to do is, basically put your cash into tangible assets, gold, silver, you name it, antique guitars, toys, art, this, that, the other, garden tools. I mean, my book has a lot of information on a lot of things that you can think about and everything. Now, I am not a financial planner nor anything like that. I just learn from history and then also my personal experience. So, Pat Hagee says, it figures. Pat and Cynthia are ganging up on me. That's my wife's best friend. So I'm glad they're here in the room. And I thank you. Appreciate it. But other things, any other questions, do me a favor, pop them in here. If you're new here and everything, do me a favor, like, subscribe, share, and ring that little bell so you get notified. In fact, right this moment, folks, give me a thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up. Click that little thumb right there. And it helps me with the algorithms and helps me kind of start raising up in the YouTube algorithms and stuff. And then also, if you find a lot of the information that I've been sharing on Coffee with Ray, and if you're new and you don't know what Coffee with Ray is, every morning at 9 a.m. Eastern, I come on and I jibber jabber about something. But this week, I've been really focusing on mental preparedness. And so I'll probably be hanging with that topic for the next couple weeks, as well as creating a side hustle or alternate income or cash flow stream or something like that. As far as security, what do you feel is most important? Doors, windows, alarms, dogs, all of those are actually important. I am a big fan of dogs. We have 4 of them, but it is proven. And it's proven not only down in Central America and everything, but it's proven up here in the United States that if you got dogs, that dog is a massive deterrent in preventing theft and break-ins and so forth. People are just afraid of dogs, and not only are they afraid of them, the bite and everything, but dogs are early warning. I mean, we have 2 small dogs, 2 large dogs, and our small dogs are early warning, and it seems they hear better than the larger dogs. But when they go off, the big dogs go off. And when our dogs are big, so about 70 pounds each, if not more. And but yeah, one time we had our glass front door open, because we have a regular door and then a glass kind of screen door and everything, and it was open, and the UPS guy came up and all our dogs went ballistic, and he was kind of freaking out thinking that, man, these dogs are going to come crashing through that glass door. But there's just something about a crazy barking dog that it just naturally freaks people out. So I'm big on dogs and everything. So other things, the home security and stuff. I like, self-charging or solar-powered motion detecting lamps. Those are good things to have. Self-charging, motion detecting cameras are good. Driveway alarms are really good. I mean, there's just so many things that you can do to create security and things like that. But again, the biggest one is dogs. Now what happens if you're not a dog person? I don't know. Cats meow just ain't gonna do it. So, did you say what hard assets constitute? What hard assets constitute? Um, and I don't really call them hard assets. I call them tangible assets. And for example, let me dig my stuff out here. I'm a big fan, as you guys know, of gold and silver. So these are a good tangible asset. This is, and I've shown these before on my channel, but this is a gold certificate, and this is made by Goldback. These are gaining big time popularity, and they're becoming actually harder and harder to find. But what these are actually impregnated with gold. And so even if you don't want to muck with these bills or these certificates anymore, melt them down, get the gold out. This is 1/1000th of an ounce of gold. This is 1/200th of an ounce of gold. They have more denominations. It gets higher and the bills get heavier and so forth and so on. But you can bend them. You can do all kinds of things with them. They did a really good job. They stay in your wallet really well and so forth. But if you're looking at getting gold, this is a great way of getting gold if you don't have a lot of money. I mean, gold's sitting right now, what, $1,900? I don't have a bunch of $1,900 sitting around just to buy gold with, but these things I can afford. I can slowly buy these, and you get them from JM Bullion, APMX, a lot of these, gold and silver places and everything like that. But these are really great, investment. Plus, they look really cool too. They're really pretty. And but these are actually legal tender. This one is what, Wyoming? No, and this one's New Hampshire, and then this one is Wyoming. And so I like these, but they now have a Nevada, a Utah, a Wyoming, I believe in North Dakota, New Hampshire. Texas is coming online here pretty soon. They've been wanting to do some Texas one certificates and stuff, but these are great because this one right here costs around about $350, $450 per bill or per certificate. This one costs about $12 to $15 per certificate. And again, the price fluctuates and everything based on the gold spot and so forth. But you're able to buy gold at a very, small amounts. And again, these are becoming more and more popular in barter and trade because you can go to the website and they got a calculator. You tell how much it is. You can put it in dollars and convert it to gold back, or if you can pay in gold back and convert to dollars, it even tells you how much change and everything to give, and even breaking it down to dollars, cents, and gold backs. And so, but look into these, folks. These I think are going to become very popular if you see hyperinflation take place, which I think we are going to see. And so those next, again, I'm a big fan of, just plain old silver. This is a J&M Bullion silver. The light's mucking with me, so let's spin it the right way. But, J&M Bullion, this is 1 ounce of silver, basic silver. These are really good. And then I'm also a big fan of Walking Liberties. Same thing, Walking Liberties. These are not only Walking Liberties are real money, but not only do they have silver value, but they have numeristic value, meaning coin collectors. And so coin collectors are going crazy over these things too, because they're just, coin collectors dig these things. Now, something that I am, and again, I'm not a financial consultant or anything. I'm not a precious metals bug or, a know-it-all or anything in that. But these are copper rounds, and copper rounds are becoming more and more popular. 1 ounce of copper, 999 grade, and but these are very affordable. And I want to say they're sitting around 350, 450 a coin or an ounce, but this is an ounce of copper. But these, I think, will be a good tangible asset. So if you want to buy a loaf of bread, well, it's 1 copper ounce. Boom. And, or a loaf of bread also equals a silver dime and things, but or a tenth of an ounce. But these are really good. You're again, I'm starting to see these pop up more and more at gun shows and coin shows, eBay, Amazon, and everything. So I would highly recommend maybe getting to several stacks of these just for low denomination purchases. Loaf of bread, dozen eggs, something small or something like that, where you really don't want to be using, maybe an ounce of silver. You got this to play with. And so, again, still a precious metal and not as precious, but copper is traded and is used. And so, there is value here no matter what. So, I could see these things also getting. So, I would really suggest start looking into getting some of these. These are inexpensive. I'd probably say you can probably get 20 for about 25 bucks, and depending on where you get them and everything. I bought these at a coin show. I want to say they were $3 each. And so, it depends on where you go, where you find them, who's selling them, so forth and so on. But copper, again, not a total precious metal, but a tangible asset. So hopefully that gave you something. I like your channel, but both your recommendations for the UVFR and the Uzi pin are made in China. Hey, I mean, I'm going to be very honest with you. Pick and choose. With our economy the way it is, about 80 to 90% of everything we use in America today is made in China. And there's no beating around the bush on that. And so it's just that's the way it is. But if you're going to buy from China, make sure you get good stuff, because most of it is cheap Chinese stuff and everything like that. But otherwise, if you're going to totally, on a lot of my good gear, Leatherman, again, American made company. Gerber German, or is Gerber American made? I think it's American made, but American made company. But you have to pick and choose. And yeah, I try not to buy Chinese if I can help it. But if it's the only option available, and it's a lot of times it is, because we just haven't ramped up our manufacturing yet here in America, and whatever manufacturing there is out there, it's super, super expensive. Yeah, could I go out and buy a Motorola or some of these other radios or something like that? Yeah, it's going to cost me $1 bazillion. But for one Motorola handheld, I can buy 5 Baofengs. And again, I'm really trying to focus on real prepping for real people. Not everybody has $200 to go out and buy a handheld, So I'm trying to help folks get prepared now, and also kind of keep it budget friendly, so that people at least have something, in their preps. Something is better than nothing. And if you have to buy Chinese, then you buy Chinese. But as much as I'm we are working very hard to get off of the Chinese thing. And in fact, one of our options, and you want to hit me with Chinese made stuff. What are you cleaning your toilet with? What are you brushing your teeth with? What are you taking, or you're wiping your baby's butt with, and everything? A lot of the consumer goods are either made in China, or we are controlled by 11 corporations. I really encourage you to look it up, and look up what is called the illusion of choice. And you'll find out and there's a lot of people that have written about it, but it's called the illusion of choice. We only have 11 companies that control basically anything and everything that we use in the consumer goods market. And so consumer goods are just basically any soaps, any laundry products, a lot of baby products, over-the-counter drugs, so forth and so on, vitamins, you name it. a lot of that is consumer goods. And so a lot of people don't know where this is made. And the reason I mentioned this 11 companies is because these 11 companies source a lot from China. Even though you're buying that Crest toothpaste and it's made in America, well, it's just, all the raw materials are put together from America, here in America, and you get that. But no matter what, it's still Chinese sourced. And it's going to take, a number of years. And I've been telling folks about 3 to 5, maybe up to 10 years for us to really break our habit of, buying Chinese. Now, one of the things that we have done, this is what we have done personally. We do not buy our consumer goods from Walmart anymore. We actually work, and I promote a company, Patriot Switch, and now the real name I can't use because I'm an influencer and they've got some rules on advertising and blah 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 blah. If you're interested, there's a link below. Hit my Patriot Switch link, and my very first email, I come right out, tell you who we're shopping from. One of the best online shopping clubs ever. Super inexpensive. I wouldn't say super inexpensive, but we are saving way more money buying with them versus shopping at Walmart, Kroger, or some of the other big box stores. And then great thing is that it is all, made in the USA. Even their plastic bottles that a lot of their stuff come in, made in the USA. And so they really stand behind being sure that they're made in the USA. And then all their sources are, again, US made and everything. And then a lot of their cleaners and stuff are non-toxic and plant-based. And that means that our 7-year-old daughter can go around cleaning windows and everything and not have to wear rubber gloves anymore. But we are working hard to alleviate our stuff from China. But, stuff like this, hey, I want to buy a $200, tactical pin? No, I don't. I'd rather buy this. Why? Because if I do use this and I have to dump it somewhere, that's $15 versus $200 and things. So, there are some goods and bads and everything as the dollar and everything starts weighing out. And as we start bringing more manufacturing to home here and start bringing more of that. And we're starting to see more of an influx of consumer goods and so forth here in America, then that's going to make America strong. That's going to do better for us here in America and so forth. But in the meantime, we're stuck with 80-90% of everything that's on the shelves today are made in China or sourced from China. And that's just the way it is. So we're slowly working at escaping the whole China thing and the addiction of China. Because, and if you've been watching my channel too, you know that BRICS is coming up. You know that a lot of these things are going to go down. I really believe that China's going to pull the rug out from underneath us. And that's going to really hurt our nation big time. And when it does, people are going to be screwed, blued, and tattooed, and they're going to be walking around like chickens with their heads cut off, not knowing what to do, where to go. And this is why I'm really encouraging people right now. Start, if you've been watching my video, beans, bullets, band-aids, one, and then start focusing on your mental preparedness, your brain, your body, your being, your balance. Brain, feed your brain, feed your body. Balance is your spiritual life, and then being is your spiritual life. Balance is your relationships. And then I throw another B in their business. Start creating an alternative form of income so that when you get fired, and history proves that you'll get fired, then you've got some other money coming in and everything as well. So, but these are things that I'm preaching to folks, and really start becoming more self-sufficient, start working with local businesses, start shopping your farmers market, start working with other farmers and everything. So a lot of things that what we're doing here, we really work hard at buying local whenever we can. And then also look into my Patriot Switch. Because there's going to be one day that you're not going to be finding any more toilet bowl cleaner, mouthwash, or baby wipes, because all that stuff comes from China. Even the American-made stuff, it's sourced. And so we're going to start seeing battles in the Walmart aisles again, but it's going to be over everything. Think about a couple years ago when we were doing that, and toilet paper was a big deal. Think of fights going on in the aisles over everything because people can't brush their teeth or, wipe their baby's behind, or, they got a headache and need acetaminophen. So, but look into that and really work hard. Let's see, what else are here? What about communications, ham radios? Will they be important? I'm a big fan. If you saw my show a couple days ago, Baofeng. This runs about, again, now to flip this, these are produced in China, but the company is here in America, and they're starting to do some manufacturing. I really look into a channel called Not the Rubicon. He is a big Baofeng person. And even though these things are made in China, they are starting to think about bringing some of the manufacturing over to the US and everything. Now it's going to be Chinese sourced, of course, but these are for a battery and all the gear to keep it going, the charger, the earpiece, the microphone, antenna, yada 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 yada, 2 extra batteries and everything. You're looking at about $45. So you can't go wrong. Now you can buy the battery, the radio by itself for about 35, 25, 35 bucks and things. And I like these because these are affordable. These are something to fit in with my realistic prepping mindset, because again, people don't have $300-400 to go buying radios. Now, if you drop these a lot or drop it in the lake or something, it's shot. But because they're so cheap, you can buy some extras, have them at home, and so if one dies, then you know what, you got another one to fall back on. That makes this a really good deal in my mind. So again, I'm not a hardcore ham guy or anything like that. If I am using this, I'm not going to be using it very much or anything. I'll be doing basic communications. I've already got my comms worked out and stuff. So this is just all I really need and things. So this is a great solution. And when SHTF goes down and all that other stuff, you don't think the FCC is going to be driving around in little cars triangulating on you or anything? Heck no, they're not doing it already. Nice thing also is this is a GRMS compatible radio. You can hack it and turn it into a GRMS radio. Now, again, it's against FCC regulations and all that other junk, but you can do it. And so for 35, 45 bucks, why not? And so, it's a solution. And but I recommend you guys getting your ham license. I do have my ham license, and then I also recommend looking into the GRMS. But you can just go on the FCC website, pay 35 bucks, get your GRMS. Boom, done. Let's see. Aim Talk, you know, buy all American made consumer good products, including the components are sourced. Yeah. China is better than not able to afford one. Just bought 2 before. I have taken the hand tech for a test because worried about not being to get them later. Yeah, do. Biodegradable too. Okay, thank you, Cynthia. Just bought 2 of these radios from your link and got extra 16% off. Good job, bro. Less than 50 bucks. Yeah. And that's the thing I like about the Baofengs is they're so inexpensive, and you can buy the radio by itself for 25, 30 bucks. And so you stock up on some of these things so you have them. And then, or being able to give them away to your local mag group or, your friends and family and everything like that. And, they're easy to program. You use the chirp software. And the Chirp software is great. It has a lot of preloaded channels and everything already. You can look up a lot of your repeaters and everything locally. It's all built in Chirp. And so let me make sure that I am saying that just in case I have any sad hams around. Yep, Chirp software. And so if you watch Not the Rubicon, watch this guy. He is great. It's called Not the Rubicon channel. And this guy, he just loves his Baofeng. It all is about Baofeng. But he's always coming down on these ham operators that give him crap because he's buying a cheap Chinese crap thing radio versus their high-speed, low-drag Yaesu or Motorola or something like that. But he's a hoot, and I learn a lot from him because he's got a lot of great information there. So if you're looking at using your Baofeng, check out Not the Rubicon, and great guy. Totally hilarious. You have to be a farmer to join. Let's see. Bought 2 radios, good. Angry Talk says, can't go wrong with extra percentage off too. Good. Yeah. You don't have to be a farmer to join the Farm Bureau and get a lot of info. Good point there, Thomas. I appreciate that one. I was thinking of an extra for a Faraday cage. Perfect. I mean, that's what we've got. As for a Faraday cage, we've got an old microwave. And so that's what I use and everything is an old microwave. Good ideas on the cage. And so, yeah. They're cheap enough to throw in a microwave. Another thing is looking into getting an extra Kindle, because Kindles you don't need the internet to operate, and so throw that in there. And I have all my survival gear and survival books and survival PDFs and all that everything on a Kindle, and so great thing to do to throw into the Faraday cage as well, so that you at least have a resource, and you're not carrying around 500 pounds worth of books and things. So something to look at as well. But let's see, we are coming up here on the 1 hour mark. Woohoo! And we made it. I was really concerned. Is anybody going to show up and want Q&A? But I tried to do some good show and tell tonight and everything. And I really, really appreciate all your questions and stuff. And yeah, I value your opinions and everything. I may not agree with everything, but I do value them. So I do appreciate, Crypto's current comment on the Chinese made stuff and everything. And sometimes, like I said, you just got to break down and bite the bullet and do it, because otherwise you just may not either find it or just cost way too much. And again, in today's economy, money is the buying power of the dollar is going down, and so we really need to make sure that we spend the best way we can. And again, whenever I can buy American, I do. And if it's in that affordable budget arena, I do. That's something. So check out my Patriot Switch link right down there below. If you're looking for survival food, check out thrivelife.com/Mhor, Mhor. I'm one of their oldest consultants, believe it or not, and I've been with them forever. But great Cadillac food. So that's everything I can think of. Let me just check the comments here real quickly. And I would like to add a small farm knowledge with you sometime. So let me know, but have to go. All right, Thomas. Yeah, give me a holler anytime. You know how to get hold of me. I live on Facebook. You got my email account. And my email is, if you guys do have any questions or something like that, ray@raymondmhor.com. Ray@raymondmhor.com. It's MHOR.com. And shoot me an email. I work really hard at answering my emails and things, so I will get back to you. Friend me on Facebook. Again, links below. I live on Facebook, and instant message is a great way to get hold of me as well. My goal is to help educate the prepper community and bring in new preppers and everything. I would rather have allies than enemies, so saves on the bullets. But any idea what size generator for recharging Baofeng, small portable, or what I'm thinking? I mean, our solar generator is great. It is Jackery, the Jackery 13 or 1300. And we have solar panels for that as well. It'll run my dehydrator. It'll run my grain mill. It'll do all kinds of stuff. And then, yeah, you can charge it off that. Now, Jackery does make smaller generators and everything. And then, gosh, there's another one. I forget the name of the company, but I'm kind of a fan of Jackery's and stuff. But check out the Pinball Preparedness, or check out Alaska Prepper. Alaska Prepper is the solar generator guy, and he's got a lot of recommendations and everything like that. But check him out, and he's got all kinds. And so that's everything I can think of for this evening. We're now sitting at 1:03 p.m. Excuse me, 1 hour and 3 minutes. So, but I just really appreciate you guys coming in here, hanging out here with me Saturday Night Live. If you're looking for more of this sort of thing, check out Pinball Preparedness. I think he's going to be on in an hour or so. He does a great Saturday Night Live as well. And so, not getting anything back from him. I just dig pinball. He's a cool guy and great stuff. But so, anything else? Not that I can think of. Raymond Mhor, Kilted Prepper. We'll see you. Goodbye. God bless. And Kilt on.